just.
Are you ready? All right, I'm going to call this meeting of the Keep Florida Beautiful Commission to order at 6:03 PM on May 25th, 2022. Roll call. What are the names on here this time? I don't know. I know everybody though. I'm here, Alana, Lindsay. Here. Okay. Terry Pettyjohn,
Here.
Richard,
Present.
Kathy Heron's absent due to a scheduling conflict. Ashley.
Here.
Awesome. Okay, moving on. Terry, would you like to lead us in the pledge of allegiance?
Sure would. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Terry. We have no citizens in the audience, it seems. Elizabeth, do we have any citizens on Zoom? So no citizens participation. Moving on to item 5, approval of minutes. Did everyone get a chance to read the meeting minutes from April 13th? Do we have any adjustments, comments, things we need to fix? We're all good?
Did we approve the minutes as received?
Do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes. Item 6, reports, the financial report. Terry, do you have a copy of it?
And looks like we had a beginning balance of 38,163.15. Had total revenues of 639.78. We had expenses of $4,855.68, most of it being police bus. And that leaves us a balance of $33,947.25.
Can you read the balance of that?
$33,947.25.
Thank you. Our waste management report. Did everybody look over our waste management report numbers?
No.
We've dropped a little bit, but it's not anything. And just in some time, just in little tiny bits, but we still have like 100% success rate and there's no like complaints and anything, which basically is consistent with the fact that waste management's awesome. Fantastic. Okay, on to item 7, old business and awards, selections of yard of the month. We have quite a few yards of the month. I have them here, so I have them together. I think I have 4 in my hand. I think there was one in my email that was not, like, it was a separate email that wasn't included in. Okay, I had, it could have been a, maybe it was a double for one. Okay. Avenue A, okay.
Let me ask this real quick. If someone's won it once, do they get to win it again? Or is there a time limit?
You know, I don't think we've ever really discussed that. The only time limit frame we've discussed has been with the Christmas light competition, and that is you can't win first place 2 years in a row. But after you win, and then there's a second year, that third year you enter, if you win first place, you can win again.
Okay.
But
Is that something we need to consider, or it's just
We-
not that big of a deal?
we do need to discuss during this item, the rules and stipulations for yard of the month. Given what has happened, we need to make sure that those are nailed down and they are consistent. That way they are followed just like everything else we have.
Mhm. Yeah, I totally agree. That's why I asked that question.
So we have,
Oh, yes. Stapler.
is it red? No, it's yellow. Oh, that's cool. It's a yellow signal. That's fun. Just so I don't get confused. Thank you so much. So we have 715 Avenue A in Lamarck, Jimmy Yarborough. Has anybody seen that house by chance? No, Jimmy Yarborough?
No, and I meant to pass by there and I forgot.
Okay. We also have, well, on their submission, says Jimmy and Marcy Yarborough work hard on their yard to keep it looking nice and presentable at all times. They take pride in their yard and house. Beautiful flowers, grass, and decor, work really hard to keep Lamarck beautiful.
So is this the one that's double?
Yeah, they
Okay.
had 2 submissions come in.
Mhm.
Our next one is 1114 Prune Street. This looks like just someone driving by. Beautiful flower beds. They work hard to keep it tidy. I always love random ones. It makes you know that people are paying attention in the community. And then our third one is 1408 Bowie, a self-submission by Shelley Parset. She said, I work very hard on my yard. I received Yard of the Month before. I really deserve the award.
I submitted one on Barondo Stretch.
Was it one? Was it one Barondo stretch?
Yes.
I saw that, I believe.
Oh.
Okay, so, because I think I saw that in an email, actually. 'Cause I remember that. That's why I said one.
And we had several from Barondo Stretch. I just want to be sure we had one in that didn't have to,
Do you know the name of the owner?
yeah, Misty Perez.
Okay, so we have, that totals us at 4.
So let me ask this, since none of us have actually seen these properties, are we gonna go by there and take a look before we decide? I think that would be,
Considering the committee chair for Yard of the Month is not present at this meeting. That presents a smidge of an inconvenience because we don't know if she's seen them. We have not seen them. I know she had mentioned at some point, was it the last meeting or at some point, that she didn't appreciate getting ones in that didn't have contact information.
okay,
Right.
yeah, I'll agree with that, but what I'm not gonna agree with is blindly voting for something that I
Right,
haven't
no, I
totally
agree with-
seen myself. It
I
ain't
agree with
happening
you.
from this point on.
So we do have, Terry had submitted that one. Yes, Terry has seen that one.
Okay, so then if that's the case, then we can go off of what Terry says, but just,
Unfortunately, I just downloaded all my pictures to the.
Just as a little bit of fairness, I have pictures for 2 properties, but not all of them. So if I don't have pictures for everybody, I'd rather not I'd rather not leave anybody off.
So you have pictures for 2 of these 3.
Yes, one of them I don't have, it's in my email, but
Okay. So
yeah, as long as it's fair, I mean, that's, you
do
know,
we pause on all 4? Or, and then not have a June? Or do we select and approve the June that we know one of our commissioners has seen? I'm pretty, I mean, I personally trust Terry's judgment. Barondo
Right.
Pines has gorgeous yards.
yeah, I would go for
Um,
that.
That way we have a June. And then we'll be able to select July. Unfortunately, she's not here because the plan was to get ahead of the game and pick both June and July
Mhm.
so that we did have
since I will admit I neglected to put it on because it just, it got lost. in my emails. But, since one of the plans is not on the
Agenda.
I don't, I don't think. It's not. Right.
Okay.
So I can put it on for next month's agenda.
Okay.
Okay, then if that's the case, let's just not have one for this month because my position is I don't want to blindly vote on something that neither of us have seen.
Yeah. You
That's
can't
go-
vote
that-
for something. you
Yeah,
haven't seen.
that's going to
know?
create another problem where somebody's going to say, well, hey, I rode by that yard and they ain't even cut the grass. How did they get yard of the month?
Okay, so
Do we ever sign that?
Kathy
Kathleen.
said she removed it from the yard.
Yeah, because Kathleen called me about it, but she sent me a text and I rode by there and it wasn't there. So remember, I asked you for her number and
Mhm.
so
I did ask Catherine to remove it since it was the second week of May. Right before we were supposed to have the meeting, that weekend before. And she said she was out of town, but she would get it when she came back. So apparently she did get it
it's not there. So
when she, I would assume, so I would assume she has it. I haven't heard from her about it though. So we have these 4 then, and we can add in Barondo Stretch into the next agenda along with these 4. I mean, that's right. Barondo Stretch along with these 3. It's a double. Okay. And then we will, then that means we will not have a June yard of the month. We won't technically have a May or a June yard of the month. But next meeting we can vote and we can get, hopefully we can get ahead of it with pictures and everything, and we can have a July and August yard of the month. Or if we have pictures for all of them, we can stack them and have stuff ready to go for the winter time. Okay, so do we have a motion to move Avenue A, Prune, Bowie, and Barondo Stretch to June's agenda?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Did Ashley vote?
Ashley.
Aye.
She's, I kind of forgot she was, I'm sorry, Ashley. That's my bad. Okay, we do though need to have a discussion regarding the parameters of yard of the month. After what had happened, it's extreme, as chair, I think it's extremely important that we set specific parameters. That way we do not have any questionable incidents. That way no one, they're in black and white. It's done. I know we had general ones. We had taken, because Vivian used garden clubs parameters, which are extremely strict because they're garden club and so everything's perfect with Vivian and I love it to death. But we wanted to loosen it up a little bit that way. A little bit more regular community members that maybe weren't so landscaped and perfect could, get the award. But aside from that, do we have anything that we need to add in there that needs to be specific to these yards? Yeah.
Since it's not actually, since this is new, it's new action.
You're right. Okay. You're right. It would be.
Yeah, let's just put it on the agenda.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
an agenda request.
Yeah. And then that'll give us time to actually have a conversation.
Okay.
Flesh out the.
Well, we can all take time to think.
Yeah,
about maybe
well, that's what I
we
meant
would
by
like
have a
to see.
conversation,
Yeah.
within
we'd like to
ourselves as
see.
to what we'd like to see. And my main thing, aside from everything, would be the fact that at least we all take a look at the yards.
Yes,
I mean,
make sure we have pictures.
that's just my main thing. We
Well-
want to make sure that we look at it. I mean, we may not like who yard it is, but hey, if it fits,
A yard
then,
isn't a
yeah.
person, a yard is
yeah,
a
I
yard.
mean, if it fits, it fits. But I mean, it just needs to be the fact that we actually have seen it. I don't want to go blindly into nothing like that.
That would be part of the point of making sure we get doubled up and get ahead.
Uh-huh.
That way, when we have, say, when we go to June, when we're in June's meeting, we're voting for July. So we have July, we're ahead of the game.
Mhm.
That way, the next month, we're voting for, you know, September.
Right,
August,
and we gotta
September.
make
So
sure
we've
that-
all seen it, we all know, we all can actually vote on the yard and we're all in agreement. And we're not just,
Right.
a sign doesn't get stuck in the thing and then there's an issue.
Yeah, because people are complaining now that so much attention has been brought to this.
And we
Yeah.
don't, we like attention, but we want good attention
Right.
because we
Yeah.
want to do good for the city.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody think about that and we'll get an agenda item worked and get it put in for new business next month. Okay, on to item 8, new business. Item A, or the spring cleanup. The spring cleanup was pretty good. We collected 85 pounds of trash, which is, and Ashley was there with me, and so was Richard, 85 pounds. And Ashley was there with her baby. And 85 pounds is obviously a lot less. Our first one in 2017 was 611, but we also had Roy from Public Works out there. And so he was chit chatting with us and Roy said he's pretty good at going in and he picks up the trash and he takes care of everything and stuff like that. So, I mean, Rashard, you were there too. So it's being really well maintained. So instead of us pulling out Christmas trees and random tires and parts of cars and stuff like that, Public Works is really keeping up with it on top of everything else that they have to do, which I think is incredible. Did I?
Think it, yes.
I did. Okay, well, I just talked about beautify the bayou. I apologize. There's a monster in front of me. I'm very tired. Okay. Anyway, since I'm talking about it, I'm going to finish talking about it. So 85 pounds of trash and that got loaded up in the back of Richard's truck and popped into the dumpster. And we had sub sandwiches for lunch and I think fun was had by all. And then I stayed and collected rocks for a little while afterwards. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, I was wondering what you were staying for. But yeah. I do have one thing to mention again, and it was that little area in the back there that is a dump site that
Mhm.
Public Works needs to take attention to that. And like we mentioned out there, maybe we got to go back out there with them
Yeah.
to help get it clean. But, you know, that area needs to be cleaned up. It's tucked off where you don't
Yeah.
see it when you come through the park, but it's there.
It's
and
where you
it
go
is-
all the way through, like you're going to the back,
It
but
is-
it's back behind that brush.
yeah, it's a horrible sight.
For you two who weren't.
Have y'all seen that back there, Ms. Stinson? No? You need to take a ride out there.
A lot of it, we just couldn't,
Yeah,
there's no way we
it's so
could handle
much.
it.
It's toilets, roofing material, trash. We didn't even mess with it. It was just that bad.
I think maybe there might be some sort of way to, work with Public Works.
Yeah,
That would be
that's-
another thing, but for us to go out with them
Yeah.
and
We need
have
to,
another sort of event where we have as many hands as we possibly can get to load all that stuff out, even if that means maybe, I don't know if Waste Management has like little like drivable dumpsters or something,
I don't think we would need a big dumpster,
like little ones.
like the dumpster that is out there at the park would
Suffice.
one size that like that, would clear it all up. But to leave it like that only invites more people to bring more once they see, oh yeah, this is a great spot. Or the same people that brought it the last time know that, hey,
Yeah,
they don't
Well,
even
it's
pay
hidden.
attention to this.
it's hidden
Yeah,
and under
and-
the cover of darkness.
And
too.
not only that, then the fact that it's kind of in the duck off to where somebody pulled back there, you won't see them.
Are there fishing sites back there?
Yeah, I mean, it's like right there by the water.
So we've got all this.
So across the river, across the lake where I was.
Yeah.
Miss Stinson, you're looking at me like, where? So I'm finna tell you. So, on the road that's parallel with the levee, how you can go down that little road. Just go down that road, and when it opens up, you make a right to the back. I mean, just make a little right, get out your truck and walk there. It's horrible. And what I think needs to happen to keep people from going in that little duck off is to block it off. Because otherwise, like I said, the people that know is back there, that's where they're going.
That'd be a big movement, not only with Public Works, but with Parks as well.
Yeah,
So I
well-
think that we need to maybe bring Parks in on this.
Well, that's why I
specific
sent the
thing.
text message out to Kathleen and council, so they know about it.
Well, maybe we need to also bring it to the next Parks Board meeting to bring it to Parks Board's attention. That way they are aware of the situation and we can,
do we know when that next meeting is?
do you guys know when Parks Board meets?
I'll look on the calendar. That's something that needs to be addressed real quick.
Yeah, it does. I think the best way to do it would be all hands on
Yeah,
deck.
yeah. That's why I said in the text message, that's a all hands on deck type of deal. It's,
And it is a park,
yeah.
so bringing Parks Board in on it would probably benefit us greatly.
I'm gonna send an email to Cesar,
Okay, so we'll contact,
Tamara.
yeah, I just sent her a message. Tamara Smith to see when their next meeting is, but if we can go just to at least make them aware of the situation so that we can get together and formulate, because that's a big thing. That's a
Yeah.
big thing.
I mean, just, one Saturday morning, just get out there and get it done.
And you already, you did take pictures, correct?
Mhm.
Other than that, Beautify the Bayou really was good. I mean, it was a really nice day. And the park was already so clean. We finished early,
Yeah.
had lunch, finished early. And then I was the weirdo that stayed behind and collected rocks,
I think,
or-
let me go back to the park situation real quick.
Mhm.
Elizabeth, is that something that maybe I should send a request tracker?
It would not be to code.
Yeah, we don't have anything to do with the parks.
Okay, I'm just asking.
I mean, you may be able to put the complaint in and they would have to delegate, they send it. off
Send it,
to
yeah,
parks.
well, that's what,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
because if it comes to us and it's not ours, then we'll send it to where it needs.
Where it needs to go,
A
right.
lot of times they send all that stuff to us.
Yeah.
I know Amanda and them maintain those parks and they go out there and do all that stuff. That's why when you're
Yeah,
telling me.
I mean, I'm just trying to get the word out there to every,
Yeah.
you know,
That's why I'm trying to figure out
entity.
in my mind where it is, even though we don't code, we don't go out there
The
unless it's for an event.
6th, I'm so sorry, the 16th, which the 16th of June is the next Parks Board meeting. And they are having they're not calling it a workshop, a retreat.
yeah,
Their retreat starts at 4 PM. So their retreat is from 4 to 6 and their meeting is at their normally scheduled time at 6.
Okay.
So,
well, I'll reach out to everybody once again.
so we can get in touch with Amanda because there's something that has to directly deal with all of us that we have to talk to Amanda about anyway. And then, we will get with Parks Board in regards to that as well. So we can work with Public Works and Parks Board and us. Cesar, like, it needs
Okay.
to be, it needs to be a big group effort. It's gonna have to be if it's that bad. So,
Okey-doke.
So let's get what we can get figured out, Rashard, and if you want to put that in as an agenda request item for next month, fill out one of the forms, and then you get what you can get as far as information, and the rest of us will get what we can get, and then we'll visit with Parks Board at their meeting, and we'll bring it all back full circle.
Okie dokie, man.
Spring cleanup. We'll back it up. Let's go over it all. Spring cleanup was really good. I thought we were only going to be able to have 5 dumpsters because it was such short notice. But Shanna at Waste Management knows we usually have 8, so she set aside 8 for us. And so we filled all 8 dumpsters. All of them. And I think we were there from about 9-ish. I know Richard and I got there about 9. Richard ran signs. And then Public Works got there, and, then Terry, you got there, and Ashley got there, and we hustled all day long in the hot sun. And we had some amazing people come out. We found some cool things. Other people were actually finding cool things too that people were dropping off. So we sort of had like this reduce, reuse, recycle thing going on.
Yeah.
Repurpose, yes. Like I found an IKEA couch. I did. I found a brand new IKEA couch. It's on my porch. It's really cool. But that's kind of half the fun and to the point. We're diverting. Should we all get Captain Planet rings? I think that would be fun. There's enough of us, and just like at every event. But it's really neat to see. I think since the citizens have seen, probably mostly me, trash pick so much at the events, and Public Works guys due to, like, we are all just picking around to find stuff that we can use. I think other people have seen that and have asked if that's okay. And so, of course, yeah, take what you can use. And so things get pulled out and they get reused. So instead of it going to the landfill, it gets repurposed for something else, which obviously I like to see our pound numbers as high as possible, because I like to know that we're diverting all that stuff. But knowing in my head that it's not going to the landfill and it's going to another use, to another house, to another whatever,
Well,
is just as good.
You know what they say, one woman's trash is Alana's treasure.
It's very true. It's very true. I do not have specific numbers back from Shanna though, on that, or, sorry, that's me, guys. On that yet. I'm still waiting to get back the pound numbers of how much we put. The shred truck was oddly unpopular this year.
Yeah.
And I wholeheartedly believe it's because of the lack of advertising. Just because it was, everything kind of went a little hay wonky with my little sabbatical there. Because we know everybody loves that shred truck, and there's always a line around the block for it. So next time, I mean, we're on track. We're back on track. We're back where we need to be, which means that for fall sweep, we have the shred truck out again. That's the one that we paid
Are we
for.
putting it in the water bills?
We're gonna put it in the water bills.
Yeah.
We're gonna push it on the thing, on the city website. It's gonna be everywhere. And I want to make sure that we emphasize both. The shred truck is going to be there. People know, but I want to make sure that it's just doubly emphasized. Also, since COVID has, I don't know where it went. I think it's still hanging around, but street teams are back. We need all the volunteers that we can get. And we have the use of that litter bus, and we have a driver, and we have someone who's willing to volunteer their time to take people out and to go get some of those big things, or to find the people that are on our community groups on Facebook who are elderly or disabled, who have stuff that they need to bring, but they can't bring because they can't get here. So if we could get volunteers to church groups, youth organizations, high school groups, what have you, whoever, to volunteer to come out and to go get those things and put them on the trailer for people, I think that would be amazing.
And one of the,
Alana, oh, sorry.
Oh, it's okay, sorry. Yes, ma'am.
Are we connected at all with like Boy Scouts, different schools with kids that may need volunteer hours and community service?
As far as the only thing I particularly know about is scouting in the area, and we only have we kind of have a Cub Scout pack, and I believe the last I heard there, because it was the Cub Scout pack I was involved in, and they came a while back. But they're little bitty ones, so that wouldn't really be up their alley. But we do not really have a Boy Scout troop in this area. The one we do have is in Hitchcock, and it's extremely small and it's very inactive, and they don't do anything. So that's not exactly probably an option. But if we have, or if Ashley, you seem connected with everybody with your work, boys and I don't know, all the, anyone we can get.
Yeah.
Anyone we can get that can put on gloves and lift stuff into a trailer. So
I got one other thing, the signs. Is it possible that we can put them out like a day or so before? Because that creates the issue,
it does.
trying to run out, put the signs out, and some people are not on social media. Some people, don't look at their water bill.
The point of the signs that we had created, the reason why they say exactly what they say, clean up, bulk trash and shred day this Saturday at City Hall, is so that we could put them out the Sunday before. So that everyone has an entire week to see it if they haven't seen their water bill, if they don't have social media.
Mhm.
And they're
It-
all the same. We don't have to have directional arrows, nothing like that. So it's just another advertising thing. We do have to make sure that when we put the signs out the next time, that we follow the sign rules for what is it, 5 feet?
5 feet,
5 feet,
5 feet in
5 feet.
from the city right away.
So we have to make
I
sure we
got
follow.
that.
So I have to make sure we follow that. But yes, when we made them, that was in our original discussion, was so that they could go out the Sunday before. That way they had an entire week to be
Right, to
seen.
to be seen, because me putting them out
It-
early that morning, now folks are running, scrambling. Oh, I didn't know about it, because when I was putting them out, I had a couple people tell me, oh, I didn't know about it. Let me try to run home.
I had quite a few people tell me, oh, I didn't know it was, and I felt
Mhm.
so bad because
Yeah.
it was so rushed this time, and
So yeah,
it's
that's
never rushed. And I felt
and that's
really
part of the
bad.
plan. We're gonna put them
Well,
out
if we
before.
had more people, we'd been overflowing, so.
That's true. We did get a ton of people. It was,
Well,
we
I mean,
also
that's
didn't have,
that's the idea of it all.
Yeah. we also didn't have, we had 8 dumpsters, but we didn't have the full 8 40-yard dumpsters. We had a few of them that were 40 yards and a few of them that I think were either 20 or 30-yard dumpsters. Shanna gave us what she could because it was last minute. So we usually make sure we request or ask Lee to request the full 8 40-yard dumpsters, because we will fill them.
Yeah, if we advertise correctly, we will.
Also, when it comes to, I think we filled 3 of those dumpsters. We filled 3 of those dumpsters pretty much with organic waste. We can request specifically from Shanna at Waste Management to designate those dumpsters, however many we want, 2, 3. They have specific organic waste dumpsters. And those are the ones that just brush and organic waste go in. And then she knows that those are organic waste. The guys know those are organic waste. They take them, they compost them, and they turn them into fuel, and they turn them into compost, and they give it away to people and all sorts of other good stuff. So we get a ton of brush. So I would say that would be something we need to look at doing next time, is requesting a couple or a few of those specific dumpsters.
And one other thing, and the problem that I have was when the dumpsters are arriving, on that Friday morning, some city employees have parked their trucks right in the middle of the parking lot.
Aren't
So,
those usually there overnight?
yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Maybe we can, set a reminder to City Hall or to those employees that the Thursday before, to not put those vehicles right there in the middle of the parking lot. Because I actually had to, because the dumpsters are arriving, 20 minutes apart. And so by the time this last time, by the time the last couple dumpsters got here, city employees in the office, they were arriving. So we had to actually have them come move some of their cars. So, maybe we can, but more so it's the public works or whoever code enforcement. Not you guys, okay. I'm just throwing it out there. That's leaving the vehicles in the middle of the parking lot, right where the dumpsters gotta go. When people pulling up, I can tell them, hey, can you, move out of the way? But a vehicle that's parked there at 6:30 in the morning, nobody's coming to move it. And now we gotta figure that out.
Yeah, it's not, I know it's not code because you guys have code on your trucks, don't you?
Yeah, and we park our cars at the new fire station.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
where we got cars, so we don't come over here.
She's
Yeah.
like, "It's not us."
I mean, I just didn't want to single no one group out. That's why I throw code in there too. But I kind of know it's public works, perhaps, somebody else that just leave them right there. So if they can park them in the back or over here in the front of the buildings would be great. But
Yeah,
like I said,
that should be an easy fix, just let them
Yeah.
know.
yeah, like I say,
Okay.
when that time comes, we just make a
'Cause I
note.
want to say in times past, we've always gotten an email
Yeah,
saying, make sure that,
vehicles.
no vehicles are parked
Mhm.
in the
So,
parking lot between.
Alana, you might want to make a note of that.
Note made.
So, yeah.
Note so made. Okay, before we move on to item C, we need to approve items A and B. So do we have a motion to approve?
Approve I move that we approve item A, spring cleanup, and item B. be funded by
By you. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I will add one more thing, and it's just in regards to the fact that these are events. I know these are events that I'm committee chair for. I love them. But any event that you are committee chair for needs to have a report of some type. I end up typing mine up and putting mine in here for the cleanups. I have a special file folder, but I also have a folder for every other type of event. And when we create a new one, I have another folder flap for that too. But every year at the end of the year, we have to go into KTV's website and we have to submit everything that we have done for the year. And without those reports written down, it is extremely difficult to finish that and to try to recall all of that we've done all year long from memory. So anything that we do, any event, anything, if we just type it up and shoot it in an email to me and Elizabeth so that she has it, then we can keep track of everything, especially her record keeper lady.
I was just gonna say, if y'all will send it to me, that my eyes are getting old. But that way I can actually include it with. finish that out.
So she can hold on to it. I can hold on to it in a record binder that I have made for us. And then it's also in agendas. And if I lose it or something and I need it, you have it. Ta-da. Okay. Now that that's done, on to item C, discussion regarding Keep Texas Beautiful. Is this a conference?
I have a question.
Yeah.
And this is
No, I know what it's about. Never mind.
since we've done the cleanup bus, the bus, and it's being twice a month,
Mhm.
can we write a report on that to submit?
I do have the reports for that actually. Patty, Patty Hunter, Kyle Hunter's wife, she's chief's assistant. The report that Roy, I think it's Roy. Robichaux, Roy Robichaux, yeah.
Older guy?
The one's much older though. Which one's that? The older one, and then one's younger. Warren. It's Warren that drives the bus. Because I was chatting with him the other at one of the cleanups. So Warren, after each time that he rolls out with that bus, he submits that whole report so that chief has it, and then so we all have it, and the community service has it, and we know how much we have to budget to put through finance to pay out to him for driving the bus. But I've asked Patty to send me those at intervals because there's 2 a month and whatever. So I have all of those reports, so I know how much has been collected and stuff like that too. I mean, it's with chief and it's with the city and stuff like that, but I also have a copy of it just for the sake of our records and for KTV. Good question though. Keep Texas Beautiful. We are all going to the conference except Terry. Everything has been registered and paid for. And were you told about your room? Richard was registered a little bit later. And when the rest of us were registered, they didn't have a double. And there was just all singles. But when Richard was registered, there was a double. So you technically have a single and he technically has a double. So we're just gonna switch you two because they're just rooms so that you guys have the space that you need.
No problem.
You don't want to, but
Yeah,
wanna
I really
jump from bed
did.
to bed?
Yes, never mind.
one to lay your clothes
Right.
out on.
Yeah.
And that, it is at the end of June in Austin, and I'm really excited, and I hope we can all go see the bats together. I'm really pumped about it. But the big thing about this is the dues for Keep Texas Beautiful. The dues for KTV or membership have not been paid. They're $175. That has to get done. Yes, because I have gotten several emails from Karen Maldonado about it. I don't know that we get an invoice. They go through KTV's website. As far as I know, that's how it's always been done. I can ask Karen, but that's.
Or does she send an email with a link to?
She has, I can forward you what she sent me. But she just has sent me several emails that say we need to get it done.
I want to say that it was sent in, but I don't know.
Let me see. This was May 20th, so 5 days ago. It says it looks like we still haven't, this is from Karen Maldonado from KTV. It looks like we still haven't received payment from you guys for the annual dues. Because I told her we were working on it. I said, I know, she said, I know you were working on it, so I wanted to check in and see if you had any luck. KLMB is still slated for good standing, but I can't finalize it until I get the payment. She said, please let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Do you want me to forward that one to you? I can do that. It's from my other email, by the way. There. That is the thing that we needed to focus on for Keep Texas Beautiful. Also, I just wanted to make mention while I was doing our report for this year that there are a lot of empty spaces when I did the report for programs that involve recycling and education and children and yada yada blah blah blah, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So things that are obviously within our scope, but outside of just the normal things that we've continued to do. The litter bus is great and it's a great addition. But we have an entire branch of educating children and adults and seniors who might not really be on the recycling track. You know what I'm saying? So let's maybe all get our wheels turning with new program ideas, even if they're super small. If we can find ways to do educational events when we do Bayou Fest, the little things that we will just participate in, just our little participation things,
Madam
find
Chair,
ways that we,
this is a new agenda item, it sounds like. Do you want to put this on as for discussion for
Oh, it's-
next
it's on the
meeting?
Keep Texas Beautiful.
It's all in, okay, because
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, what are we talking about here?
yeah, I'm just
It's
saying
all under
wheels
Keep
turning.
Texas Beautiful.
Okay.
I promise.
Keep me where I
My
need to
brain's
be.
here now, mostly.
'Cause I'm like, wait a minute, what are we talking about now? Went from
So-
conference to this.
Yeah, if we just want to all like wheels turn, and then at some point we can, you know, if anyone has a idea, agenda item and throw it up and we can, you know, get stuff worked out.
Or Send us out of course, I've never gone in to look at Keep Texas Beautiful requirements.
Mhm.
Maybe you could give us a list next time.
I can do that. I can do that. I think I can get back in there and look. Of all the different sections
Yeah.
that they
But yeah.
categorize. They're not necessary,
If
obviously.
you want to win, they are.
Yeah, we would like first place. Because this was just our annual report. There's also the governor's award, which, man, so let's go for gold for governor's award for this year, I say. Amp it up. Be intense. Be as intense as my hair color is right now.
Yeah.
Okay? That's how we win gold. Be a rainbow. Be a rainbow of education. Okay. Actually, do we need to act? Do we need to? No, okay. That's something we do every single year. Okay. On to D.
That was just a discussion.
That, yeah, okay. Item D, discussion, possible action regarding swag items and T-shirts.
That's stuff that we ordered every period.
That's exactly what this is about, Terry.
Okay, so it never got ordered because there was, she said there was an issue with it and it did not get ordered. So, oh, it was. Right around my house. There was an issue so that it never actually got
Okay.
ordered.
That's fine as long as we pay for it.
Yeah, that was the one thing I wanted to double check on because it's been a while.
So we had budgeted that money out of last year. Obviously, it did not. But it was money that was already spent. Do we need to then go through a whole other action item? Or can we approve to just actually place that order? Because we need that stuff. And we were waiting on it and waiting on it and waiting on it. And I thought it was a distribution chain issue.
Okay, so
Thank you,
basically what we're saying here is that there was things that needed to be ordered, they were never ordered. So therefore the money was never spent. So,
It was budgeted but never spent.
okay, so if I may, I would like to make a suggestion to kind of make this easier
Mhm.
for you guys. Because you do so many events and there's a lot going on, it's a lot of moving parts and pieces and y'all know, because y'all live it.
Yep.
What do y'all think about setting aside and coming to an agreement on a budget for the year that's to cover all your events? Set that money to the side and then you just, each event, you just let us know in 90 days, you know, put your requisites in 90 days before the event in order, and we take it out of that one budget. That way you're not having to revisit every event, how much we're gonna spend, what we're gonna buy, just for swag.
For
and-
swag.
Yeah, for swag and your t-shirt items. That way, you know, okay, for the year, for our swag items and stuff, we have this budget. And then it's a real easy transition. You just say, okay, we know we got 15,000.
Right.
Be a good number. And 90 days before, whoever's over that event sends in paperwork, say what they want, get approved, and you order it. And then that way, you guys don't have to have a discussion every time on how much we're gonna spend for this event. How much, that way.
Well,
you
that's
know.
that's kind of what we did at the end of last year,
Mhm.
was we set aside that 2,999, and then it was supposed to be a big bulk order of
Mhm.
just a bunch of stuff for all the events that we do. So same principle,
Yeah, same
smaller
principle.
budget, but same
Yeah.
principle.
But just go a bigger budget for everything, and then that gives you the freedom to know, everybody in their mind knows, okay, we have this much to spend on this. We spent this much already. My event's coming up.
Well,
But
I
also gives us the freedom to create more
yeah.
events and use those things for other
Yeah.
events as well.
And it gives you more creative control, I would think, as well, where it's like, you know, you may not want to do the same thing you did last year, so you're looking for new things to add to kind of, you know,
Right.
change it up. But you know how much money you have to spend, which will let you know if you can do that or not. What
I think-
people like, what people don't like, you know?
Need to be careful too, because I think that we probably won't get a whole lot of money this next budget period.
This is
So-
true. I will say, when I did go through and price it out with 4imprint and did that bulk order of stuff, everything that I had selected last year for us, well, because I asked, but I never heard back from anybody, so I just went through it. Everything was under the either organic, recycled, renewable. It was like pencils that you should, and then you can plant them. Those sorts of things. Aluminum water bottles, stuff like that, stuff that wasn't going to impact the environment. No plastic.
Yep.
Because I personally feel like if we're going to give out swag, we need to practice what we preach, and we don't need to create more trash for the city. We're trying to stop that, not give a kid a bracelet that's gonna. I do like our little bracelets.
See,
And
I'm
they're
still
super-
wearing mine.
Yeah, like those aren't bad. Those are fun. Because people collect those. But like little tattoos with the plastic, they're cute, but they end up just, you know. But the flower pots, remember that Colleen did? Every part of that was compostable, even the paper on it. It was paper tape, and that paper tape biodegrades and it breaks down. So every part of that was able to be used, or it was able to be broken down. Go throw it in your garden and you'd be fine. And I think, like I said, we need to practice what we preach in buying those things. So
And
when it,
it's up to you guys. It's just a suggestion. Just thinking of
I
ways
think
to make
it's-
things easier for
I
y'all.
think it's a great suggestion, especially if we are gonna spin the wheels in our heads and figure out, you know, other programs we could do and other things we could bring to the kids in the community or with the library. I know Amy would love it, you know. So do we want to, in regard, we did have an email. I got everybody's t-shirt sizes. And I sent it to you. I did. I don't know.
There's a lot of all that stuff.
Yeah.
Not just for family, but even within our stuff is taking a little extra. Loaded.
Still don't
So
have
by
my
the time it
shirts.
comes in, everybody's forgotten.
As far as t-shirts, we had, because I'm wondering if we can just throw this one done because we need them and it's on our agenda item. Hold on. We had 1, 2, 3, 4. We all have shirts, huh? 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 t-shirts. These, 8 of these. So 1 extra for each commissioner that has one and 2 for each of the new commissioners. Do we have a new person that's coming on board? I don't know. I guess we'll get to that when we get there. I think because we don't pay sales tax, where we get them from, the same design that holds up. That would run us about $120 if we budget above, or a potential addition to a commissioner, or a potential uptick in cost, because everything's gone up in cost. I think if we budgeted maybe 250, I mean, that's over,
Yeah.
but if it's over, we're good, then we just don't spend that, but we need, you know, Lindsay and Ashley don't have their shirts to wear to match us to events, and you know, this is, Patriot Tees has done these ones. They print them in such a way that it's not like thick vinyl, so it doesn't start to peel off. You don't have to worry about it in the dryer. And also Aurora, one of the owners, she makes sure they're the comfort tees, so they don't do the neck rub thing. Because if it rubs at your neck while you're out in the sun, you just want to, you don't want to. So I think we've, at least personally, because we've had t-shirts made from a couple different places, and theirs have always been my favorite. And our signs are from Patriot Tees as well. Our Christmas light signs, which are so cute, classic throughout the year. So I would say, this is me, if someone would like to make a motion that we come up with a budget for swag items and set that budget for t-shirts so we can get those ordered at least.
I'll move that we set a budget of $250 for additional shirts and for new commissioners, and maybe $2,500 for swag. Hopefully that would do it for the year, do you think?
If we're gonna, from what I planned out for last year, it is a good bit, but if we're gonna add in, hopefully, if we're gonna add in some extra events, we might wanna maybe go with our cap, just so that we can get, extra little bit.
$2,999.
yeah, just
Okay.
to be on
I'll
the
change
safe
it to
side.
2,900.
If I may.
Yep.
This is, we don't have to have a cap, we don't necessarily have to buy it all at once.
Oh, I see.
So this is just a budget. so that-
Ta-ta.
So that you know, okay, over the course of this time, this is how much you can spend totally. So that should make it a little bit easier.
Maybe we do 4.
Okay. I'll amend the motion to be that we.
5.
That's what Kathleen was suggesting. nothing
That
less than
That was Kathleen's suggestion.
Because keep, remember, the price of everything.
Has gone up.
Going up.
I would go with Kathleen.
Okay, we've got, so we have a motion for $250 for the shirts and a motion for $5,000 for swag for the year.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you for amending that motion several times, Terry. Discussion, possible action regarding plants for the police department lobby. Do you have that one? Because I emailed that to you, but I didn't see it in our thing. There's too much going on.
But I was pretty sure it was sent out, the agenda items. Did you give me? I just didn't print it because those files were Snapchat or snapshots, and they were huge and taking forever to send to.
Okay. I will do. So do you think we all have it in there?
It should be.
It's not gonna be in your main agenda one.
Oh.
I don't think so.
It would have been in the email that I sent out.
I have the bid proposal though in front of me, just while Elizabeth is looking for it. The bid proposal was from Yard Excellence, which is over here off of Cedar. They've done a lot of stuff. They did the flower beds in front of the cemetery for me when I was over on cemetery board, which was still really beautiful, if I do say so myself. It's for 6 indoor planters with plants, and the total estimated price of it is $1,050. And I went, oh, for just a second, but you have to remember to soil, and it would be the big pots. So a couple of the large ones and then some smaller ones to fill in on the little tables and stuff. They've done a lot moving stuff around. It looks a lot more inviting, but you still, even if you didn't do anything, you still almost feel like a criminal just walking in there a little bit. And people should feel, oh, there it is. A little safer. And Sam, who is the owner of Yard Excellence.
That's
this-
right here on the corner.
Yeah, right across from
Yeah.
Snow King.
Yeah.
Yeah. Specifically has worked up plants that will work in that low light of that lobby. Ones that won't shrivel and die. So it would bring a little bit more life. Garden Club takes care of the planters on the outside. The police department, the staff at the PD would maintain the pots inside their lobbies. Yeah, I've talked to them about it. These things are virtually no maintenance anyway. I know, but I know I can kill anything too, plant wise. But when Chief asked me about it, and I told Chief to get a hold of Sam about it, to discuss it specifically, to, get this bid, to bring it to us like he has other, I said, you gotta make sure that Sam knows the type of light that comes through that lobby, because there is light, but it's very filtered light, and it needs to be stuff like Sansevieria or mother-in-law's tongue, the spiky one that kind of looks like zebra. Most of them they're called plants of steel. You basically have to set them on fire to kill them.
What kind of planters are they gonna do? Concrete, what?
I don't necessarily know if they're gonna be concrete. I wouldn't say they would be plastic either. The ones I've seen personally, the larger ones that Sam has used I think they're like a resin, like composite. I don't know if that's the right word. Like a mixture. So it's heavy, but it's not like a stone one that you'd see out at a cemetery or something. Does that make sense?
And nice if it would have been able to, but paying for 4,000 fixed.
We can, that's our decision.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see where money is going. I mean, I know where it's going, and I don't
Right.
have a problem with that at all.
But specifically what
like
Sam
to-
has planned.
Yes.
Okay. I make it like to.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we find out exactly what we're getting for the money. $1,050.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Ashley?
Aye.
All right, I will let Chief know, and we will let Sam know, and we will find out exactly what. Lively.
Yeah, I mean, didn't so much have a problem with the dollar amount, just that we're approving something so blindly.
I agree.
No, nothing.
But
And
with
that's,
budget cuts and all sorts of
Yeah,
other stuff.
that's just what, I mean, we're gonna be good stewards of money, our tax dollars, then we can see something.
More plant. Yeah, it's kind of high to me.
I know what they're talking about, but I personally have talked to the officers.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
like I said, I don't have a
but-
problem with you define any city facility, but when we go to say, okay, this is what we're spending, and we haven't seen anything.
Well, I need to go to Yard Excellence anyway. I need dirt. Dirt is cheaper than anywhere else right now. We did a big truckload for, okay, I say truckload, I mean truck bed load. They'll dump like a whole, like a tractors, for like 20, $25 out of
Yeah.
your truck.
Yeah, that's like a yard.
It does really well for our boxes and stuff. It's cheapest when you price it all out, like the most stuff like that. But since I have to get dirt and other miscellaneous anyway, I can take this and I can go up there and I can talk to Sam and his wife. And I know they have everything there, so I can take, even if it's not the exact thing, I can take example pictures of a similar item. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's not, if they wanted a blue planter, but they don't have a blue planter. It's the same one that's
So let me ask this question. 1,050, that's just for the plants and the planters? I mean, is that labor included?
That's for Sam to do everything. Put together all the arrangements, pots, the soil, and soil at first. I mean, that's everything.
Okay.
I mean, there is a lot that goes into.
I mean,
creating these
I
things,
get that. Like I said, I want to see something.
but watering, the basic maintenance, watering them every now and then. The people take care of that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's fine. Like I said, initially, you want to see
What it
you're
is that we're
getting.
gonna, yeah.
Oh, oh, trust me. I get it. I mean, like we've said, everybody said it, everything's expensive, but this is not our, I mean, it's technically our money because we're citizens here, but we still need, so if someone came up to me and said, hey, man, I saw y'all approved $1,000 for the PD, what'd you get? I don't know. And then now, oh, yeah, and yeah, we don't want to just do the basic sheet, but
The number
we-
for sure holds up, but we want
Yeah,
to
we
see
just-
exactly
exactly,
what
that's
it
it.
is going to be.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, somebody's
you.
upcharging it and you're gonna
Sam
get
would
let. No,
anyway.
I'm not saying that at all. It's just
Sam's cheap
You know,
anyway, for around
Mr.
here.
Mr.
for real.
Pettyjohn agreed with me that
Yeah.
that's, we need to be fine.
Well, we'll take a trip over there and we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And
And if I
then-
gotta go with you, I will, because
Come
you
with me.
mentioned dirt. I technically buy upload.
Well,
myself.
come on. Well, come
So,
on.
yeah.
We'll do a weekend. We'll go over there, you and me. So we'll go and we will take the bid with us and we will figure out exactly what it is, take pictures,
Mhm.
and we'll carry this next month then, and we will bring back specification.
Right, and like I said, it's not a delay tactic at all. It's just.
Don't have to sell it so hard. Okay,
Got it.
we'll go, you and I, go. start it. We want to make it a group outing? We can't. It'd be a thing. Never mind.
I was waiting on that one.
Just kidding. We're not doing that. Me and Rashard can go. Rashard needs to go anyway. Rashard, do you want to make a motion to?
Come again?
Make a motion to it?
Yes, I'll make a motion to let's table this to next month.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Discussion possible action regarding updating the KLMB page on the city's website and social media site. Commentary on that one at all? Do you know anything about this?
This is. But I did check with everything on there.
Very old.
Now, there was Commissioner Mortright,
Light Up Lamarck is still on there. Light Up Lamarck is still on there. The chairperson and, well, I think I'm technically still listed as chair, but she's not listed as vice chair now. The other commissioners are all jumbled up and wrong. What, the other lady that was here, she's still on.
Kim,
I think Kim's still on there and the
Steve, Tracy.
blonde hair, Tracy's still on there and the blonde haired realtor lady. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah. Rebecca Mo.
Rebecca.
Mo.
Rebecca.
Mhm.
Yeah, all that's still on there. Now, from what I understand, that is JP's area now.
Probably just a form we need to submit. maybe.
I do not necessarily believe so, to be quite honest with you. I think they've been inundated with I think every department's been inundated with everything. I think it might, and this is just my personal opinion, I think it might behoove us to make mention of, I'm pretty sure I've already sent an email about it. Have you sent an email about it?
Just
Okay.
Elizabeth.
I'm almost positive I've already sent an email about it to, I know JP for sure. And I'm pretty sure I've sent one to probably Kyle, because Kyle also does the tech stuff. But it might behoove us to push it again and send another email. Excuse me, and send it to JP and Kyle and maybe Maribel. And I don't want to bombard Cesar with all of his stuff, but it needs to get done. And it's been, I mean, that stuff on there's old. I mean, it's the middle of the year and Light Up Lamarck is still on there. It's the first thing you see when you open up our webpage. And yeah, and we can't, you know, like the Facebook page, People Aren't Beautiful. That's a whole issue too in and of itself with social media, because I guess there's a problem again, the same problem that was a problem, but now it's a problem for everything. So we're just included in that. But so if you've noticed, none of our stuff is getting approved beforehand on that social media group. It's getting approved after the fact. And I'm not placing blame on JP. He's a very, very busy individual, but there's no other way. Now we used to have a secondary person, and now there's no other way to put it on that group. And we fought really hard for that group to be able to push that, to get engagement, because a lot of people use Facebook. We've also had a problem with, I mean, things were late and we knew we weren't going to get stuff in the water bill for the last couple events. You know, we knew that. But everything was, all the details were immediately given in very finite detail to everybody that it was pertinent to. And there was still no advertisement on the city side for any of our stuff. And it sort of irks me just a smidgen, because I didn't see anything for our events, but I saw the day of prayer advertised. And that's a religious thing, and the city is a governmental entity. And those two aren't supposed to be mixed. But I'm just saying, and then other things, the bird sanctuary, it's very cool. It got advertised, but our events never got pushed. We didn't get an alert put out for it. There was no, I made a whole post, and so the only advertising that we had was me making it, pushing it out as much as I possibly could, and then whoever saw it, sharing it. That's it. And I'm only one person. I don't have so much reach. I don't have the reach of the City of Lamarck webpage. So it really, really hurts us in trying to get back our volunteers, like for street teams, to get engagement so that people know about the shred truck. I mean, the lack of volunteers that we had for Beautify the Bayou even was weirdly low. I mean, usually people love to come out to that one. We've got 30, 35 people usually. I bought enough food for 40 people, you know, because that's usually how many people we get. People like to come out to the lake and hang out, and we have kayakers and, you know, things like that. And
It didn't happen.
it didn't happen. And the only thing that was posted about it was what I posted about it. And I had to go grab Colleen's old one. Thankfully, a good section of it was white, so I could remove it and just put the new date in, and that worked. On that note, Kathleen did make a really good suggestion, and it was to make generic advertisements, kind of like just generic, even just black and white, whatever, so that we don't have to deal with the specific color scheme that they have to use, the branding guide. Because if you didn't know, the city of Marque has to use a specific branding guide. So you can't just throw whatever color you want on there. It has to be very, very specific. It's like a number color. So something very generic, black and white, that we can change super easy. That way, if JP, whoever doesn't have time, at least we can just say, hey, it's done. Lee, can you put it out in the water bill? So it's essentially a standby backup for us for every event.
Mhm.
And I think that's a good idea.
And
But
I'll add this too for you guys, just with everything that's been going on and switching here and all that. Make sure you get your stuff in the 90 days before is very important.
Yeah.
To get everything that you need for anything, for your events, or what you want him to do, 90 days before that event, turn your stuff in.
that's also in bold and starred on the
Yes.
top of our calendar.
Turn it in
So-
that 90 days before, that way they have that 90 days,
Yeah.
because we can't turn it in, a month before.
Correct.
And expect to be there when you have been told you have to have turned in 90 days before.
Yeah.
So
I
that may
understand,
help you
yeah.
guys as well.
I understand completely. We've never, until this little hiccup, we've never had an issue.
Yeah. But you
But
had a lot of,
there was a lot of
transition
things
and going on.
going.
I think it's just something that timing was just an issue.
Yeah, and I was told, yeah, let's just send it to me and we'll get it out. And so I did, and it didn't.
Mhm.
And so I try to make sure that when things are done, like, are asked of me, but they're done.
Just say
most of the
stick,
time.
make sure you do your 90-day deadlines and you should be okay.
Did you get this that I sent you? Advertising?
Yes,
Did you send it to Kathleen?
I did, and, well, no, I'm sorry, I did not give it to you
Okay.
because. Oh, the advertising.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what-
I'll let everybody
But
see it.
yeah, you can give it to me, and just because of the way things are going right now. Also, she's probably vacation.
Yeah.
But can't blame her.
I just want to show everybody, my thing did a weird thing, but since we were talking about it, and JP had asked you about some details for events and going into like our minutes and the agenda forms and things like that, and when they're, pictures and sent in, they get kind of mucky. So I just went, it's not super professional, it's like the other ones. An advertising request form. It would have, just like our agenda forms, where it has who we are, our contact information, what board. I put the other boards that would maybe need advertising too on there, just in case. And then on the back, a big space. So it has all the pertinent information. You can bullet so that we could give this, or Parks Board or Cemetery Board, whoever could give this to JP or whoever. That way, hey, here, that's everything you need to know. You don't have to go hunt through an email. You don't have to go hunt through agenda forms or anything like that. It's just all there on one form for him or whoever it is at the time, whatever. So I passed that to her, and events. So maybe maybe that will pass or get adjusted and pass, and maybe that will help streamline the process. And we can submit that in, the 90 days prior when we do the rest of our stuff with our events. That way there's no like, oh, wait a second, what is this and what is that? So, other than that, do we have any other commentary on social media and the public pages? It's just gonna be a push, and when they have time, I think, I don't know what else we can do about it, honestly.
We spoke out about it and
Yeah.
this. That's it.
As much
Hopefully-
as I'd
hopefully it
like it
gets better.
done now, there's a lot going on. I know every time I call you guys, there's like 27 things going on in the background. And that's you guys, so I can only imagine what City Hall looks like right now, so,
Well, we put it out there in the atmosphere, so maybe, it'll get better.
yeah. I know that you are on social media. Are you still on Facebook? No, okay. If you, at least in the future, even if JP can't, because I know Lindsay's not on social media. I know Ashley's on social media and she shares it out. I know she shared it out.
I do it on next door.
Okay. Okay, well, I can, if we can come up with generic ones in the future, just if things are still whatever, we can separately email a copy of it to you guys. That way you can share it on your avenues, and then we can all share it on Facebook on our avenues and all our social groups and our personal pages and stuff like that. That way, at least we can get it out to as many people. Print it. We can put it up at the library. Dollar General. Everyone goes into Dollar General and they really like us there. So I think they'll let us put it up there. I mean, that would be an alternate way for us to get it out. And then if we have a blank one, like I said, we can at least give it to Lee and it can go out that way. So we can still get our water. It won't be pretty double-sided, shiny, fancy, but it will get there. So. Sound good to everybody? Kind of come up with what we can and get by.
So by next meeting, we need to have everything done for when's the fall cleanup?
Fall cleanup is in. Sorry, because my
In
brain's.
September?
Why is this upside down?
All planned is in
November. Well, it's just based on KTV's things. So fall sweep stuff is due at the August meeting. So we do have a couple months, but lucky us, at the beginning of the year, we approved everything for all of the basic events that we have. So fall sweep's already approved and shred trucks and stuff. So all we have to do is make sure that a flyer goes out with Shanna for the water bill, and with Shanna, a flyer goes out with Lee for the water bill, and that Lee gets in touch with Shanna about the dumpsters and the separate organic dumpsters. I mean, it's included in the 8, but special ones. And then the fact that we do want the shred truck as usual, the one that we pay for this time. So it's just making sure that the little things are done, but everything's approved. We just have to make sure it's pushed through. So by August meeting, water bill stuff needs to go out so that it can go out in October's water bill. And then, then we have Light Up the Marque starts in Arbor Days also in November. Did we not put the trees on this agenda? We do have bids.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I mean,
Um, You've seen the agenda forms. It's in that big email that she sent. It's in there and it's specifically titled agenda form, agenda request, agenda item request. And it's really self-explanatory. It really is. Okay. Because then after conference and after July, August, September, after our really hot months, we kick back into overdrive again for the remainder of the year. So, okay, on to item 9, requests and announcements. Rashard, do you have any requests and or announcements?
No, I'm good.
Mr. Pettyjohn?
Not at this time.
I don't. Yeah, that's on our, that's our big calendar. Yeah, it is scheduled a couple, Arbor Day would be scheduled a couple days before actual Texas Arbor Day, because actual Texas Arbor Day is on a Monday. And that doesn't do anybody any good. So Lindsay, do you have any requests and or announcements? Anything you need to talk about?
No, I'm just trying to get Arbor Day.
Oh, by the way, I don't, Richard and I were there at the, on Monday for a meeting about the budget consideration. It was quite an interesting day. So,
Did they say, talk about our budget?
no, it was more the big picture kind of budget thing.
I almost don't even want to know. Just in case you guys didn't see though, the bids that Lindsay got for trees for Arbor Day was included in the packet that she sent out. So that when it's on next month's agenda, everyone's already aware of the.
I personally like Jimbo's because she was very education wise, and then she said each plant she would donate a care kit for each tree. I was like, what? She would put it together, put it on the tree. And she said a lot of residents don't know how to plant a tree. It's like, oh wow, for free. So she said, yeah, every tree we can get one. It's 3 gallons, and she said she'll take care of all the plants until we put them up. So I was very excited. I liked her price. I did call those. We said 1 gallon, but
Those are so tiny. Yeah, 1 gallon. Those die.
Yeah.
Really quickly.
so I like her. But
Yeah,
I like the price.
And she also say that she would, well, it is a down payment, just to hold
Yes.
the trees there, because she's gonna take
Care of them.
no, she just wants to take care of them for us until we need them. That's all I'll say.
Take the baby.
She just wants to take care of the babies until we're ready for them.
Yes.
We can talk about the specifics of taking care of the babies next time. But yeah, so she'll take care of the babies for us, and then we can talk about where to put them next month.
Yeah.
Ashley, do you have anything, a request, announcement, anything to add? Oh, did she leave? She bounced. Okay. She's like, peace out, guys. Okay. My only request and or announcement would be, since it's 7:30, sorry guys, would be to make sure that all the little things that we have gone over tonight, all of the things, you know, noteworthy, whatever, that we have agenda items or agenda item request forms for, make sure that those are in to Elizabeth, that way that she knows. Get absolutely every single one of our bases covered.
And I will say, because real fast, and this meeting was so late, I can have those by 8 minutes.
Yeah.
That way, because
Me too.
Let's go with Tuesday then,
That's
because
better.
I'm not even gonna be in the office.
my eyes got real big and then I realized that our meeting was late.
Yes, yes, so if, because I will need to get all of that straightened out. Run by around to make sure. And
Can we make a checklist real quick while we're sitting here? Since it's so quick, that way, just in case, we can make sure that everything gets on there. Does anybody mind real quick what needs to,
About the agenda.
about the agenda? What needs an agenda item next month?
Okay. So I've got some.
Mhm.
market outside the agenda. I have really some very yard enough parameters. Well, I'm gonna send in one for the cleanup. Together. Public Works.
Yeah, at Holland Bayou.
Oh, you're writing, sorry.
That's all I've got so far. Was there anything else?
We're moving the plants for the police department, so that'll just get moved.
For old business, I think we ought to be looking at the People Want Beautiful page and the website too.
Keep up with it.
Yeah, just keep it on the agenda, so make sure that
Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
we
Okay.
we put it on the agenda, to talk about it.
So social and,
Just take it out of F. And make it old business. And out of
um,
E would be old business, the police, plants.
yeah, the trees Arbor Day needs to go on as new business, technically. Is that? We moved and we're moving all of Yard of the Month plus Rondo Stretch to next month. So the 4 yards are getting moved. I know we have parameters under the new business, but I don't think so, because what, next month's June? I think we're good. Can we keep under recurring? I guess it would be new business this time, and then just keep it under recurrent, like old business recurring program ideas. Elizabeth has given us a short timeline. I want to make sure that everything is there.
Yeah, that, you can, yeah. We can have a discussion about the new programs.
Yeah.
Programs. that is in this.
Even just like throwing
Yeah.
ideas around and having a little bit of discussion and seeing what works with what and hooty wuddy. Okay. All right. If nobody has anything else to add,
I'll move, we adjourn for the.
we have a
I
second.
second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion adjourned, or well, meeting adjourned at 7:37 PM, not AM.